Hold on to that bat
with just one hand. We're going to talk about the technique in just a second. Take you back to a season ago, one of the iconic plays from last year, the Hail Mary, that victory over USC, of course, the matchup against Notre Dame, avenging that loss from the previous season, and then those huge wins for Todd Graham's squad from Stanford, Utah, that big push. I remember talking to Coach Graham at the end of the season about some marquee matchups. Of course, he'll be joining us during the season on Inside Pac-12 Football, which you'll be able to catch on Tuesdays. But, Coach, it is great to have you on the set. The tradition that all of a sudden is now you're putting into place with this program, and it's called winning. And it's now back-to-back seasons of 10-win campaigns. Give me the secret sauce. How are you being able to accomplish this and this turnaround in such a quick period of time?
Well, I don't do a whole lot. I don't make any plays or score any points. We've just established a culture. One that, our plan to win the Pac-12 championship, and that's obviously our goal every year, and to win a national championship is to have a plan that's unique to us. Character, smart, discipline, tough. We've just developed that culture, and kind of some things that that I really like seeing is 70 of our 110 players are what we call scholar ballers, 3.0 or higher. We had 12 academic all Pac-12 players. Last year I was second to Stanford. The Scholar Athlete of the Year came through Arizona State. More all-conference players in 3 years than any hit in the history of our program in a 3-year period. 28 wins is the most wins in a 3-year period. So we've done some, I think, a solid job, but I can tell you no one in our building thinks that back-to-back 10-win seasons was a success. Our goal was to be Pac-12 champions, and everybody in our building knows that we fell short of that, and losing a couple of games late that we weren't supposedly supposed to lose, but you got to bring it every week in this league. And so the depth, this group of kids has the cultures established. We're stronger, faster, more explosive. I like the sacrifices our quarterback has made to lead this team. I really like the intangibles that go along with that. And this is the best football team I've ever coached, and it's the best we've had since we've been at Arizona State. So I'm excited.
Coach, fans across the country got to watch The Drive a couple years ago, and you talked a lot about your background in football and some of your mentors in football. This offseason, you lost one of your biggest mentors in Buddy Copeland. You've talked a lot about him, openly about him. What's one nugget, one thing that you remember from Buddy Copeland? I know there's a lot, but you're carrying into this season to make sure as you continue to guide and mold these young students.
Well, one of the things that Buddy was a guy, he loved John Wayne and Bob Hope. He was God and country. He was the toughest coach I've ever had. I can still remember, it gives me chills he never said a positive thing out loud. He would lean down into your ear hole of your helmet and say, "Man, you're a stud, man, you're," and it just motivated me, and he gave me the tough love that it takes, and just having the courage to give them what kids need, I think, is what Buddy more. I played for 3 Hall of Fame coaches, but Buddy changed my life because he didn't worry about being politically correct. It wasn't about Buddy. It was about, giving you what you need to be successful. And so that's what he's instilled in me, that tough love and discipline, character, smart. I had dyslexia and I made good grades, but I struggled reading, and he never let that. I remember him sitting down to me and he said, "Okay, so you don't have a dad. Well, so what?" And I was going like, golly, this guy. Because everybody was like, poor you, oh, you got this, these learning disabilities. I think that's the worst term in the world. You just learn differently. And so he really just instilled a toughness and a perseverance in me that he just really emphasized that it's not what you do when things are good. It's when you face adversity that truly defines who you are as a person. And this is America, man. And we're going to be tough. We're going to persevere. And he never told me he loved me. He would get ready to leave, and he'd punch me in my arm about as hard as he could. And he could punch pretty hard. And he'd have a little tear in his eye, and I knew he loved me. And so will carry on that legacy. That's why I'm a coach. And I wouldn't be sitting in this chair if not for a courageous teacher like Buddy Copeland.
Well, I'm going to tell you, Todd, Buddy, he was definitely an impact on you and an impact on me, because I remember being at that training camp last year and watching you coach those corners. And I remember we leaving, I'm telling Rick, I can play for that guy. So he's done a great job with you. But moving forward, you open up Texas A&M. It's been back and forth. what conference is the
yeah.
best. You guys are representing the Pac-12. How big is that for
Huge.
the school?
It's huge, and I'll tell you, one of the things that I don't really care what anybody else is doing or how they're going about it. They came to me with that game. Steve Patterson was our AD a couple years ago. He came to me and said, "What do you think about this game?" And I didn't hesitate. It's the kind of game I want to coach in. It's the kind of game that I know we're ready for going into our fourth season. Obviously it's a road game. It's a neutral site in Houston, which we know that's going to be a road game. But our players want to coach in, and our fans want to see. Mm-hmm. And let me tell you this has been the best summer maybe since I've been coaching. Mm-hmm. In our players' sense of urgency. Man, they have a sense of urgency. They understand we're going on the road in the SEC right off the get-go. And so I really like this game. And obviously our future schedule has Michigan State and LSU and games like that. And so I really believe when we played Notre Dame and Wisconsin in the same year, it really helped us to be a better football team. So I love that game, and I'm looking forward to the Sun Devils coming out and representing, and we'll be ready to go.
A year ago, I remember talking to you about some of the starters that you were not going to have on defense, and now it seems like a little bit of a role reversal for you. That's got to bring a smile to your face and maybe a different type of confidence heading into the season?
Yeah, I'll tell you, obviously last year we had a little chip on our shoulder because we had 9 starters to replace, and I would like to tell you that I was extremely confident. But I'll tell you this, I worked sometimes in desperation. We had to get better in a hurry.
You played it off well, by the way.
Yeah,
I wasn't buying any nerves.
What are you going to do? I mean, I'm going to tell you this, just like expectations. What are our expectations? Our program's about winning championships. We don't win the Pac-12 championship. I'm not talking about the South. I'm talking about the Pac-12 championship. We've not had a successful year. That's the kind of place I want to work in. I'm not interested in coaching a place that wants to go to a bowl game. So when it comes to that, your players listen to what you say. And, you also, it's convincing yourself. There's no other option. This is what we're doing. And so we need to work with that same sense of urgency this year and not say, oh, well, we got all these returning starters. We should be better. There's no guarantees. You earn it every day.
Coach, it's always fun to talk to you because it's not only just football, but it's things that happen off the fields as well. We say this all the time in studio when we reference Arizona State football. We say, hey, Todd Graham has his fingerprints over everything that's happening in the conference. And a lot of times talk about identity and the uniforms and the helmets and all these things that happen. You guys actually doing a new deal with Adidas. Not to mention a year ago, I remember even the boots that you had. We're all rocking Adidas.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
Oh, the boot. You do have the boots. I couldn't tell when you were
These
walking
are the
up.
black cherry square-toed. So if you're not from Texas, you don't know what that square-toed means. But
That's not bad at all.
it's pretty cool alligator. There you go.
So you're a defensive guy. Is what
Coach,
it means.
now we got to get Adidas to make some.
I was just
some
thinking
boots,
that.
man. They
Yeah,
gotta
I'd
make
be
some
all
boots
for that.
you.
And these ought to be. I like the price on these too. My good buddy Jack First hooked me up with these. He owns Lucchese Boots, and so pretty good price tag on this deal
And
too.
you have the initials on the side too.
Oh
which
yeah,
is awesome.
just so I know who they are. And they got Sparky on the
Put up
back.
a little
Yeah,
tip.
no detail left unturned, but it is something we're looking forward to seeing what you guys are unveiling because a lot of times, and it's amazing now, and your guys hang around guys that are getting recruited,
Yes.
just the emphasis on what they're going to be wearing on the football field, things that you never really think about, and it really truly is a really important dynamic.
We've had our players very involved in that. Obviously, I remember playing. It wasn't that long ago, and I remember before every game, man, I'd walk in there and look in that mirror, right?
There you have it.
And man, I wanted it to look I wanted to look sharp, man. I wanted to have the right gloves, the right. So we let our players be involved in that, and everything that we can do that sets us apart. It's amazing. Sometimes everybody's just kind of doing the same thing. Well, if you want to be the best in the country, you want to be the best in the Pac-12, then what are you doing every day to separate yourself? I tell my players that. I was like, oh, well, what are you doing? I'm working out. Well, everybody's working out. What are we doing to separate ourselves? How we do it is with our values: character, smart, discipline, tough. But also, if you want to be a champion, you first at least got to appear to be a champion, right?
Gotta look the part.
Good.
It's about
the
That's
product.
right.
Gotta look the part.
That's
Gotta
right.
look the part.
That's right.
Spoken like a true DB.
Coach, we appreciate you stopping by with us. Best of luck to you this upcoming season. It's going to be tough sledding for every team, certainly not only in the Pac-12 conference, but also in that South Division. So wish you nothing but the
Thank you
best.
so much.